Hello, hello. How are you doing today? Ah, mm. Taking a deep breath, getting into resonance, getting into connection with you guys. I am so excited for this conversation and this chat today. So, yeah, welcome to A Bubbly Life. I love to give you just tips, inspiration, activations to help you live a bubbly life, whatever that looks like to you. Whether it is like for me, a bubbly life is like luxurious. It is drinking champagne. It is like sitting by in a cabana by the ocean. Like I am all about that life. I am bougie AF, but you don't have to be me, right? You are beautiful and wonderfully made as who you are. So whatever just lights you on fire is totally like amazing and wonderful. So own it, my friend. So for those who don't know who I am, or if we have not had the chance to meet yet, I am Tiara, aka T. Yes, the wine diva. It just felt wrong. Like I was not gonna say it, but it just felt wrong not to right now. I will let you know I am in this like rebranding phase, and I'm growing myself, but also just like growing who I am and who I want to be and who I want to show up as online. And Wine Diva may or may not stick around. Who knows? I feel like there's so much expansion going on, and Wine Diva like was definitely a reflection of a time that I was focused pretty much only on wine, and there is so much more to like expand upon. And one of the things that popped up this week was like royalty, and that's kind of what I want to talk to you about, is like how to feel like royalty. And I love a good pun, and we know I'm Tiara, aka T, and royalty. I love it, right? So we'll see how that works out. Maybe that might be a new name in the future. Who knows? But I'm playing with it, feeling with it, seeing how it feels. And I want to talk to you about how you can feel like royalty. How can you own your truth, step into who you magically are, and all of that goodness. So, and sharing my story, I hope to like inspire you to like grow. So while I'm going to take a second and I'm going to double check that like audio and everything is sounding good. And in this moment, I invite you to like invite your friends. Sharing is caring. Tag people if you're watching live, if you're watching on the podcast and you're like, I love her stuff. Please like leave a review, or, you know, send this out as well to other people. Yep, I can hear myself. So yeah, let's do it. So this podcast, it's a live podcast broadcast in case you're not familiar. So I do go live and on Facebook and YouTube whenever I do these, right? So I go live on Facebook and YouTube, so you have the opportunity to interact with me, offer your commentary. We can have an engaging conversation, but also I post the audio to my podcast. So if you're someone that likes to listen to podcasts and prefer that way of doing things, then you have that option as well. And so I love to meet you where you are. So I am going to like boo boo boo. Oh, my friend Stacy's birthday is today, so I want to give her a shout out and say happy birthday. And yeah, so let's get down to it. Let's talk about the things. Let's say the things. So we're talking about how do we own our truth? How can we step in and own who we truly are? And so that is kind of what I have been working on the last couple of months. Oh my gosh, I feel like it's been like 6 months of like really stepping in and tapping in. And the journey really started for me with getting my numerology done. I have an amazing friend, Angela Kay, and I'm sure you've heard me talk about her multiple times. She's been on the podcast. We've dual lived many a time over the year. I'm actually going to go ahead and tag her in the comments for the Facebook intuitive creatrix, so that you know you guys have an opportunity okay, the tagging's not working. So it is what it is. But so basically this journey really started with me chatting with Angela, and she was like telling me that, I recommend getting your numerology done. It's a blueprint for where you're going, and it might give you some insight on where you are looking to go, where you want to be. Cause I've talked to coaches, and, I have this vision, and I would say, I'm the next Oprah. Like, that's what I want to be. Like, people are like, what do you want to be when you grow up? I'm like, Oprah, duh. I don't know what that means, but that's what I want. Like, and what that means, and essence is like the ability to speak, be heard, and inspire others, right? Like, have people actually listen and take action and really change lives. Like, and when I think of Oprah, she changes lives not by like she does philanthropy, which is amazing, and giving money and giving, but she gives so much amazing content that reaches the masses. And it's not like you have to pay for anything. Like, I guess you might have to have a cable subscription or whatever. And, nowadays it's a little bit different, but you can like totally do like Soul Sundays and like, on Facebook Watch and all of these things. But there's so much out there, so much that you can tap into and hear. And then she also has a platform to like recognize the amazing people like around and in her life. And I was like, oh my God, like, this is what I like. This is what I want. I want to recognize people, and I want to talk, and I had no idea how to do it. And that's kind of where I was. And so I got my blueprint done. And through the blueprint, basically, it takes your birthday. It's numerology, and it takes your birthday and the time and all of that, and it puts it all together, and it comes out with a whole, like, for lack of a better word, blueprint of like your strengths, your weaknesses, who you are like in your personality. It gives you so much insight, as well as it goes into like different kinds of years and like what you can expect, or the energy of this like decade and this year, and so on and so forth. So I went to Jen Kohler, who was recommended by Angela, and she's also been on the podcast. We've done some duels as well. And so she really like has opened my eyes. And so like in that conversation, I learned so much about myself. And we had just this lovely chat. And I had known like Jen before. Like, I had seen her in other groups that I was a part of, and networking communities and all that jazz. And at the time, I don't think I was ready. I wasn't ready. Like, I was so focused on taking my network marketing business to the next level, to like getting to the top, like super Pikachu whatever, which another coach used to say. It's like, nobody cares about your rank. Like, it doesn't mean anything to anyone that's not in the community, right? And so like, that's always what I think of whenever I think about like ranks. So like, shout out to John Eric, and so I was trying to like do this, and like, this is what I thought, but it's not so much that it's like what I wanted. It's what like, everybody around me who is like in the community wants for all of us. Right. And nothing wrong with that. And I'm still like, I love our products. I love all of the things, but I realized that there's more. It's like, it's not the end all be all. That's not where my focus needs to be, is what came up, And so, and through working with Jen, it led to like, embody Reiki. And I have been in this program. Like, we started, I guess, a week or two ago, but a part of that program. And I love the fact that like Jen includes this, is this program called Master the Brain Game. And inside Master the Brain Game, we are learning about like how like self-mastery, really, like, it is truly self-mastering, understanding ourselves, understanding how we feel. And the beauty of when we understand how we feel and how we can like make a choice to stay there or elevate, depending on what it is that's going on, and how we can better respond to situations. It's been so just mind-blowing. So highly recommend. Hi, Rosalie. Such a good question. Thank you. So how's your day going, Rosalie? Like, Oh my gosh. So this journey has been just breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough. And this is like what I'm doing, right? So I am, leaning on and reaching out to people to help support this growth, right? You don't have to go it alone is one thing that I've learned. And I think that is super huge to say, because sometimes, we think that we have to struggle and we have to work and we have to like do all of this labor, but we have to do it all ourselves. And that's not, it doesn't have to be your story. Like if you want it to be your story, it totally can be your story, but it doesn't have to be your story. Our story can be full of like fun. Our story can be full of like feeling like luxurious and full of royalty and full of just amazingness. And that's kind of where I'm starting to come to this mindset of like, this is what I want to teach the world. I want to teach the world that it can be full of just amazingness. It doesn't like, there's like a TikTok trend that's going around that it's like, what is your dream job? And then the response is like, I don't have a dream job. I do not dream of labor. And I'm like, yes, that right there. I don't have a dream job. I don't dream of labor. I dream of living a full, like, beautiful, luxurious, amazing, wonderful life that is fun on a day-to-day. And working does not make me happy. It's called work for a reason. Yes, we work. But in saying that, work, there's nothing wrong with work. Let's be real. Like we got most of us got jobs. Yes. But our job doesn't have to look like the traditional, what we have been taught. We can make work look like whatever. And in my mind, work is just a means to make money. Yes. A means to have an income so that like we can do things like eating, or, for me, traveling, but like, that is considered a luxury. And if that's not like your jam, it doesn't have to be your jam, but I love experiences. I love to do the things and hang out with amazing people. And that's really where A Bubbly Life is coming in, is like, I want to bring you on this journey. I want to have you with me as we like explore the world, explore our own personal growth, as we learn how we can be as royal as we are, whatever that looks like to you. So like royalty doesn't mean that I have to have like the most expensive, like $1,000 outfits and whatever. Royalty, like making yourself feel royal, can be as simple as getting a $20 bath pillow and some bubble bath and have a bubble bath. There's a show on Netflix called Big Mouth, and she's like, it's if you don't like humor in a way that is vulgar, I guess is the best way to put it. You probably won't enjoy the show, but it's like talking about, they're like kids in like middle high school age, and they're going through puberty, and everyone has like a puberty monster, and the girl has this monster, and she's always like, bubble baths. And I'm like, yes, I love it. But if that can be luxury to you, or luxury and royalty can be just taking a walk in nature, like what feels good. Yes. And I think so often we don't tap into what feels good to us. And when we tap into what feels good, we figure out what our journey is. We figure out what our purpose is. We figure out, like, when we're able to like mine, how does this make me feel? Do I want to co-create with this situation? Do I want to co-create with this action throughout the course of my life, throughout the course of my story? If I do, then great. We have choice. We have choice. We can choose not to work. Now, our choices may have consequences, and my choice to not work, quote unquote, could be, it's not that I might not work. It could be that I choose to find a different way to create an income that feels good to me. Yes. Yes. I'm like on this advocacy of like, nobody has jobs. No, not really. That's not my point. My point is that nobody needs to live a mediocre life. Nobody needs to like live a life that is less than. We are all equal. We are all oneness. there is the law of one. We are all one. We are all connected, and we are all deserving, and we are all worthy. Yes. Does that resonate? Does that feel good? So with us saying that we are all worthy, we are all connected, we are all oneness, we all have the opportunity. Like, if we want to be like travel bloggers, and live this like beautiful Instagram life that we see, like if you're that person that's scrolling through Instagram, like, I wish my life looked like that. Your life can look like that. You just have to make the choice to do the things to make your life look like that. You don't have, like, I think there's so many like hangups on like you have to be a certain kind of person in order to live a certain kind of way. And you don't. You just have to be you. You just have to be you. I'm going to say it a third time because I like to say talk in threes. Threes are like, they're my number. So you just have to be you. And you have to understand who you are. You have to understand what you like. You have to understand what you want. What do you want? Has anyone ever asked you that? What do you want? And I'm not talking about picking out what we're having for dinner, because that is the question that will never get answered in my household. I'm just kidding. It does get answered. There are times where I'm like very definitively, tonight we're having pizza. But there are times where I'm just like, I don't know, whatever. Like, what do you want? Like, I just order something, feed me. I am the hungry monster, so feed me. That's where I am. But there, so do we have to have the answers right in this minute? There's no pressure to know what you want or what you need and all of that, like right this second, but it's something to think about. What do you want? What do you want your life to look like? How, like, what do you want? Not the how. We don't need to really worry about the how. And I don't want to get into this law of attraction phase, because as I've been growing and as I've been expanding, I know in the past I've talked a lot about the law of attraction, but I was talking about it from a space of not realizing that there are hundreds of laws of the universe, and I wasn't tapping into those. So I have yet to master all of that, but I will definitely come back, and like as I understand the laws more and more, I will share my knowledge. I feel like knowledge needs to be shared. Yes. Like, let me know. I'm not seeing like chat anything going on in the chat, but if this is resonating, if you're feeling the feels, if you're in with the vibes, like, let a girl know. Let a girl know, okay? But like, yes, so I'm like, I get these like tires and then I lose my train of thought. So it's also your job in the chat to like keep me focused. And focus is where we're gonna go. Thank you, channeled by like, from source. So when we find what we want, it's just like creating a brand if you're running a business, but this doesn't have to be a business conversation. This is a life conversation. When we find what we want, when we make the choice to say, this is what I want, and I'm deserving of living this kind of life, then I am deserving of living a bubbly life. I'm glad you're loving it, Rosalie. Like, invite your friends. If you're loving this, invite your friends so we can have a bigger conversation. Like, when we choose how we want our life to look, how we want our life to be, we can do the things. We can have the focus to do the things that'll get us there. We can have the focus enough to get inspired to do the things. We don't necessarily need to know the how. I don't know how many times I've gone to Wikipedia and I've been like, all right, so how did Oprah become Oprah? And like reading her wiki page, and it's like she was like a reporter and she did philanthropy and she did this. And I was like, I mean, like, I got a communications degree. I have a degree in electronic and print journalism. I've applied to be a reporter to jobs before, but like that doesn't seem to happen. And in this day and age, I can be my own reporter because all I needed was a microphone and internet and a camera. And before all of this, I was going live before I had a HD webcam and a Blue Yeti microphone, but now I have it. Now I have the thing, so I can elevate, and I can continue to elevate the production value of what I have going on. But it's not necessary. So like now I'm like, well, she got notoriety by like being in a space where she could be seen. I am now creating a space to be seen. So like, if that's your idea too, if that's where you want to go, like you're like, I want to be famous, I want to be whatever, like you don't have to worry. Like the idea of being discovered is kind of obsolete at this point, right? We can show up and be seen. And, you know, someone's like, oh, I loved her YouTube video. Oh, I loved her podcast. Oh, I loved her, whatever. And we can share, like, we as a community, we as oneness, we as like, as a whole, we as source energy can change the paradigm to not having like it just be these people at like Netflix and I'm trying to think like who's around me like living near Hollywood. I'm like, oh, well, I've seen the Netflix building. I've seen the CBS building. I passed the ABC building driving around, you know, like we don't need that. We have everything we need. We have social media. We can get social friends. We can chit chat friends. We can grow together. We can embody royalty. We can embody a bubbly life together. There's no need for the 1%. There's no need for this hierarchy. There's no need for any of that. There is no need because we are everything. We are source energy. Yes? Yes. Does that vibe? Does that feel good? So all of that comes back to how do we own our truth? How do we step into who we are? And it starts with you. It all starts with you. I can't tell you who you are. Honestly, like I can read your tarot. I can give you advice on what I would do in a particular situation, but it's all you. Like you have the choice to take the advice. If I say that you have the Tower card and things are burning all around you, but don't worry, this is a time for rebuilding. This is a time to burn down all of the doubts, all of the things that don't serve you for like your greatest good. It's time to burn all of that shit down so that you can be reborn. You can be like a phoenix. Okay, I have a side story after this statement, but like you can be reborn like a phoenix and be better than you were before. Hallelujah. Like if I say that's your card and this is what I'm interpreting for you, this card meaning for you, and you're like, that's cool, and like walk away, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. It doesn't like I can't tell you what to do. I can't tell you who you are. I can only tell you my interpretation of what I see and how I think we can achieve what I think you want. So until you get clear about who you are and what you want, no one can really help you. You got to help yourself. You got to start with yourself first. Yes. Yes. So the little side story that I wanted to share because I said Phoenix. Where are my like Marvel fans? Where are my fellow nerds? Honey, like where are my blurs? It's Black History Month, so I'm going to throw that out there too. Blurs, for those who are not familiar, it is the combination of the word black and nerd, and you throw it together and you're blurred. So blurred, like there's a blurred con that I've been to a time or two, which is fun, but it's a space to celebrate. And I on a side note of the side note, like I am all about inclusivity. I will I'm throwing this out, like LGBTQIA. I want to be inclusive of both, like all identifications, all nationalities. I think we all should just get along. I think that like we should people have feelings about the word should, but I think, getting along, like I think starting to getting us each other happy and like understanding what we want and moving towards understanding what we want and achieving what we want puts us in a more loving space in our hearts, in our heart chakra. We are more compassionate people when we are enjoying life. So therefore we can get along with our community regardless of what other people say. Honey. Okay. So like, I really want to say that this is an inclusive space. And so like, even though I use the phrase blurred, and even though I did mention Black History Month, because I think it's really, really important that, we recognize especially those of us in the US, recognize our country's history and what has like systematically been happening to people of color. And I want to use my platform to raise awareness to all of that, but also say that if you are down with me, I am down with you, my friend. I like, and if you don't agree with what I have to say, like, honestly, it's none of my business. I don't really care. Like, not saying I'm not, I really don't like I don't like confrontation. Am I afraid of it? No, I just don't like it. Like, it doesn't put me in the good vibes. So I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't want to invite that there. So if you don't like me, you don't like what I got to say, then you don't have to be here. Honey, this is an inclusive space. I want everyone to feel comfortable and confident, as long as you are nice and not trying to hurt nobody, as long as you have good vibes. I will say that these are the things that'll get you kicked out. Okay. Okay. Like, if you're not like, genuinely trying to help others and genuinely respecting other people, then maybe we don't need to be friends. But anyways, back to the like whole Phoenix story, and like, I digressed again. So, Marvel fans, for me, my first love in the like comic arena was X-Men. Like, Batman was all right. Like, I'm not I will do DC, but Marvel's my jam. Marvel's my jam a lamb. And so X-Men, yes. And I have to say, Jean Grey, I feel like I can feel it. Like, people are gonna be like, oh, how dare you. Jean Grey, I don't like. I don't like Jean Grey. You can say what you gotta say. You can have your own opinion. And I, as a female, as a girl, like, as a woman, I definitely, growing up, have always tried in some way, shape, or form to relate to the female characters that are portrayed on TV. Like, I am trying to pick like the person that looks closest to me. So Storm was my jam, like, female, badass, and black. Hallelujah. I'm like all about Storm. And then I'm like, Rogue is a badass. I totally have a Rogue poster. Like, I love it. But Jean Grey just never really resonated with me. And I was just like, and I think part of it was that, like, I don't know, like, while she was powerful, she didn't really own it. She was looking for other people to help her all the time, is like kind of my perception. But this week, I'm having headaches, and, I'm going through this spiritual growth, growth. I'm getting ready to be attuned to Reiki 1 this in the next coming weeks. Like, oh my gosh, so quick happening. And so, like, I am having like this like awareness, just being open, and like I feel like there's like clairvoyancy coming in that I didn't really have control over before. And so I'm getting like pressure headaches around my third eye chakra. Is that right? Yes, third eye chakra. I'm getting like pressure headaches, and like, like my temples are like feeling like cray cray and whatever. And so I'm like having these things, and I'm talking to Jen Kohler, Reiki master healer, self-mastery coach, and I'm like telling her about it, and she's like, yeah, that's like, downloads are coming in, and your like other chakras are blocked, so you need to like clear that. And I'm just like having a time. And I like walk into the bedroom, and my boyfriend's laying on the bed, and he's like saying something, and I'm like, I have a headache. And he was like, do you want to take like aspirin? Do you need something? Like, what are you going to do? And I'm like, no, it is a spiritual thing that's going on right now. And you know what? I feel like, here are words that you will understand, sir. Like, I am like Jean Grey turning into the Phoenix right now. And he was like, oh shit. He was like, oh, that's no good. And he was like, I guess I'm gonna die. And I was like, what? Which arc are we going? And he was like, X-Men 3. And spoiler alert. And so if you haven't watched the movies, this might be your time to like fast forward or whatever, or like pause, go get a glass of water or a glass of wine, whatever. Anyway, so he's like X-Men 3, and I was like, so not like the cartoon, but, or, what was the other reference I made? I don't know. Anyways. So basically he's like, I'm going to die. And I was like, well, are you Cyclops or are you Wolverine? And he was like, it doesn't matter. Either way, I'm done. I'm going to burn. And I was like, I mean, it might happen. You never know. I don't think I like to burn some things in my witchery, but I don't think that's in my clairvoyancy. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm getting clairvoyant. I might have like some clair tactile, being able to touch things. Who knows? I don't have telekinesis. I really hope that comes through. And if it does, I will probably not let you know, because they still lock people up for crazy, feeling a little cray and not understanding and things that they don't understand. But, you know, that'd be nice if I could just like, you know, aloha more. That's not the right one. Avada Kedavras was coming into my head, and I'm like, that is not love or kindness here. Harry Potter, let's get our things together. Accio, there's the one I want. Accio some wine. Accio this. Like, bring the things to me, because that would make me feel luxurious. That would make me feel like royalty. All right. So with that little story, with that little aside, I'm going to hop off of here. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Remember, you are worthy. You are deserving. You have the ability to discern what is it that you want out of life, and you have the choice whether or not you will achieve it. All right. So have an amazing time. I invite you to join us in the A Bubbly Life Facebook group so we can have more conversations, so we can have more tarot, so we can have all sorts of fun together as a community. And yeah, I think that's all I want to share with you today. Mwah. Thank you for watching, listening, and all of that. And I invite you to share this with your friends as well. Ciao.